joined Teach for America, I worked as a senior analyst at the Corporate Executive Board, a research and consulting firm. I spent a few years working with Fortune 500 companies to problem solve issues that they were seeing in their businesses. And I changed careers because I thought the most urgent problems existed in the education space. So I became a kindergarten and first grade teacher at a charter school in a Latino community out here in Los Angeles. And I was definitely nervous because I was basically transitioning from working with Fortune 500 clients to working with 5 and 6-year-old clients. So the biggest question I had was, how am I possibly going to apply my business skills into this type of environment? And it turns out that there's actually quite a bit that I could do, because I found that if I was going to be truly effective in my work and make an impact, I needed to work with a much broader range of constituents, of which my students are only one of. And I say that because of some of the challenges that I saw in my own situation. I basically started teaching without access to a curriculum and without access to books. And so I spent a lot of time writing grants and working with individuals to bring in books and iPads and other types of resources into my classroom, because otherwise my students wouldn't have anything to work with. And because I was working in an immigrant community, there were linguistic and cultural challenges as well. I mean, I'm not Latina and I don't speak the Spanish language, so it meant that there was a lot that I needed to learn. And it also meant that I couldn't do this work alone. So I recruited a lot of volunteers to work with me because I needed help in, translating during parent-teacher conferences. And I needed help in making sure that, my students' families who are relatively new to this country understood what their rights were as parents and what their choices are in terms of schools that they can enroll their kids in down the line. And this is important to make sure that they have, all the different opportunities that can be available to them. Because, I think the toughest part about being a teacher is you can't stay with your students for the remainder of their academic journey. And they do have to be their own advocates. So these parent workshops were one way of making that happen. I would say that teaching is definitely a big part of your work, but it cannot happen in the absence of community building. So if you're already, spending a lot of your energy becoming excellent in building relationships with vendors, with clients or customers, or with other individuals in the business world, I guarantee you that there is a way for you to leverage those skills in the classroom and in the broader movement to end education inequality. And for that reason, I do encourage you to, join Teach for America and become my colleague in this effort. My name is Helen Chan, and I am a 2010 Los Angeles Corps member.